This is a lecture from OpenTuition. To benefit from the lecture, you should download the free lecture notes from opentuition.com.
Well, from chapter 16, we turn our attention now to look at the second biggest tax within your syllabus, corporation tax. Remember, in section C, it is one of the two 15-mark questions, the biggest mark questions, those written questions on the paper. One is devoted to income tax, the other devoted to corporation tax, and it's got to be an area where we score highly in terms of our performance in this examination. Now, in terms of corporation tax, to begin with, we're introduced to it in chapter 16, where you'll learn basic definitions that will allow us then to draw up from any given statement of profit or loss for a company, given within the question. We'll be able to prepare either the corporation tax computation for what we'll call, as you'll see in that chapter, a chargeable accounting period, or potentially, as you'll see in chapter 17, from one long period of account. That simply means more than 12 months. Again, you'll see that in the detailed lecture in chapter 16. But from one long period of account, we can prepare two corporate tax computations. For as you'll discover early on in chapter 16, though we may be given a statement of profit or loss for any period for which the company has chosen to prepare its accounts, it's normally, of course, a year end that we get there. But if the company was first starting to trade, or was now ceasing to trade, or indeed in between times changed its accounting date, it may do so in either of two ways, by having either a short period for which it's prepared its accounts, i.e. less than 12, or a long period, one of more than 12 months. And from that statement of profit or loss, that period of account, will be required to prepare either a corporate tax computation or two. Now, corporate tax computation, as you will discover in the detailed chapter, corporation tax computation is prepared for a chargeable accounting period, and it can never exceed 12 months. So if the company had prepared its accounts for a period of more than 12 months, your period of account, as we'll call it, will be a long period of account, but we would now break that into two chargeable accounting periods. That, therefore, is what we look at in chapter 17. Chapter 18, we deal with the situation where, instead of after pursuing your adjustment of profit process, which you do pretty much the same, but it's actually a little bit easier than you dealt with in chapter 4 in income tax, and after you've then dealt with the capital allowance computation, again, a little bit easier than what we did in income tax there in chapter 5. But instead of having produced that calculation of tax-adjusted trading profit, it isn't a profit, it is actually a loss. What can we do with those losses? What reliefs will be available? And there won't be an issue to you if you are now new in terms of Finance Act 18, you're new to taxation, this is the first time you've studied it. But if for any reason you'd started your studies, or you still need to continue your studies, having studied FA 2017, then we've seen important changes as regards the way in which losses are now relieved. They're not difficult, and certainly in your syllabus they're not difficult. They've been made simpler. Thank goodness for our examining team there. But they are substantive changes. So if you are revisiting this area from prior to FA 18, look carefully at that chapter. Now that's why for chapter 18, as you can see here, you are going to have a new lecture. I'm re-recording the lecture from last year because of the changes that have occurred. But for chapters 16 and 17, we'll still be using the same lectures as for last year for FA 2017. For, as you'll see at the beginning of chapter 16, in terms of the financial years that we're dealing with for corporate tax, simply the years for which we set the rates of tax. Although we've moved forward a year, nothing has changed. We're using the same rate of tax. So other than moving, and not all, but certainly one example, forward a year, the principles, with one exception, have remained the same. And the only thing I need to do now, prior to you watching the lecture from last year on chapter 16 to begin with, is just address the issue of what has changed. And it's something that I've just referred to that we pick up in more detail on in chapter 18, and that's a reference to losses. And what you will see is in our FA 2018 notes, In section 6 of chapter 16, we deal with property income. Now, in terms of the way that we assess property income for a company, nothing has changed. But it's this note here, note D, well, we see a difference in terms of the lecture you're about to watch on chapter 16, the situation that existed then under the rules for FA 2017, and the rules that exist now that you must know for FA 2018. Now, it's not a big deal, and as I say, we revisit this area in terms of losses. You'll notice here I've already underlined, if a company makes a property business loss on its properties, how could that happen? Because the expenses incurred are greater, as we'll discover, than the rental, the property income there. In terms of what you must do with it, to begin with, it is the same as it had always been for many years. We'd offset the loss in full against the total profits. Now, these terms won't mean anything to you just at the moment, but by the time you come to this section 6 in the lecture, they will mean. You'll have seen the pro forma corporate tax computation. I'll explain what these items are. But you set off against the total profits of the current period. This is where the difference arises. Any excess property business loss, it's a very unlikely situation that you're going to have a property business, property income loss that is bigger than all of the other total profits made by the company for that period. I can certainly not remember a question where that has happened indeed. But if that were to happen, then the excess loss is carried forward. And what they've done is to improve the position for a company having to carry forward a loss in this situation with a change in FA 2018, such as, unlike in FA 17, the set-off now is against any part, so we can get to make a partial claim of the total profits of the company. Partial claim, any part of the total profit of the company. Now, it's not a huge change, but anything that improves the position so far as the taxpayer is concerned is no doubt to be welcomed there. But that is a small change that has occurred from last year to this year. So you need to note that, therefore, before you then listen and watch the lecture on chapter 16. Other than that, and the example at the end of that chapter simply having moved forward a year rather than the old year end that was there, nothing else has changed within it. So you'll be able to use, therefore, the chapter 16, FA 2017 note, but just noting that one issue there about the carry forward of the property business loss. It certainly isn't a big deal there. In terms of chapter 17, again, because nothing has changed in terms of the principles that are used when dealing with, as I referred to it a moment ago, a long period of account. That is simply that the company has prepared its statement of profit or loss for a period of more than 12 months. Now, unfortunately, we cannot prepare a corporate tax computation for a period of more than 12 months. And hence, therefore, instead of from one statement of profit or loss of the company, preparing one corporate tax computation, we'll have to prepare two. Now, it's not difficult. The rules have not changed, but all that you'll see in relation to that is that we've moved on a year. But all of the numbers, the tax calculations, the capital allowances computations that you need to do, all the numbers are exactly the same as per FA 2017. Now again, the FA 2017 notes have been left available for you to use here. So you can watch those or look at those as we go through that lecture, and also check through on your FA 2018 notes, again just there in relation to the small changes we've seen to do with the carry forward of property business losses. And then in terms of chapter 17, it is just that instead of a 15-month period to one date, it's 12 months later when we finish. But none of the calculations are different. All of it is the same. So we can quite easily and usefully there take advantage of the lectures from last year. When it comes to chapter 18, however, although much of what is there is the same, there are sufficient changes to warrant us redoing the lecture. So that will be a new lecture where we'll be using the FA 2018 material. Okay, before we get to there though, you now need to check through and work through chapter 16 and 17, see how we prepare a corporate tax computation for a company, see that it is prepared for a chargeable accounting period, but our working document from which we prepare that corporation tax comp is the company's own statement of profit or loss. As you'll see early on in chapter 16, we give it the name of a period of account, and you will from it prepare either in chapter 16 one corporate tax computation to match that period, or two corporate tax computations as it will be in chapter 17, where, as I said a moment ago, you're dealing with a long period of account, i.e. a statement of profit or loss for more than 12 months. What we'll then do is look at the FA 2018 notes to look at the slightly different but important changes that have happened as regards the use by a company of its trading losses as well as its property business losses there. Okay, enough said. You now work through the chapter 16 and 17 and then move on to the new recording dealing with the losses as they are now under FA 2018.